It's your brother Nubreed coming through with another live stream. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on your way in. The system exposing itself. So Trump recently bombed Nigeria. And the claim is that they were targeting ISIS because of, for whatever reason, the Trump administration seems to be concerned about Christian persecution going on in Nigeria. Now, notice the sarcasm in my tone because that's just not the truth. But I know that you all come here to get the truth, so we're going to unpack what's really going on. See, ladies and gentlemen, there's an agenda to start a global Christian and Muslim war. That's what's really going on. Y'all got to understand how the powers that be operate. It's all about divide and conquer. And also simultaneously, it's always about the resources. It's always about the resources. Now, could you imagine Nigeria bombing America to stop Christian radicals or Christian nationalists? Now, does that make any sense? A country bombing another country, hitting them with missile strikes to stop something from going on? To stop some persecution from going on? No, listen, ISIS is a figment of the CIA. So when you hear them talk about ISIS, it has CIA written all over it. Anytime you hear ISIS, CIA. Straight up. See, this is the truth that they're not going to tell you. So when you hear Trump say they're bombing ISIS in Nigeria to stop some persecution, we know what time it is. Everybody get them likes match the views. We're gonna cook. It's the same playbook over and over. Eventually, you got to stop putting your trust in these white supremacists. Yes, I see my brother. I Am Fit Podcast is in the building. Men Going God's Way. Shout out to him. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to those brothers, man. They put in good work. Let me read this comment. It says, yes, please speak on it, Nubreed. The powers that be are making waves for Muslims to be placed in specific locations around the world, from here throughout America and Japan. Absolutely. That's what they do. They bomb, they create the displacement, and then once they have displaced the Muslims, they're able to put their own plants. They're able to strategically place their own plants in various locations so they can continue to conduct their their false events and all of that, false flags and all of that. It's not a new playbook. See, we got to read in between the lines. They took one of their puppets, one of their taskmasters, Nicki Minaj, propped her up to be the voice. In fact, they used her as, I mean, some type of Trojan horse, really, because that's what got the people's attention on Nigeria, using Nicki Minaj as some sort of ambassador. And by the way, man, brothers and sisters shut Nicki Minaj down, y'all. They shut her down. I'm talking about she disabled her, deleted her Instagram account. She lost tens and millions of followers. So when I made that stream about Nicki Minaj being cooked after she went to the Turning Point USA America Fest, I knew it. I knew it was only a matter of time. Charles W., thank you for the support. Says great day and grand elevation, brother Nubreed. Remember, it all starts in the Southwest, where the chessboard originates. It says, put in our faces, sinners. Yeah, understood. Yeah, they're actually putting together a GoFundMe for Nicki Minaj to have her deported. They're actually raising money. Listen, people are not playing. People are not playing. The undermining of the people who suffered and struggled here in this country, those days are over. The delineation movement got rid of that. Those days are over. And then Turning Point USA, man, they're in shambles right now. But I'm gonna tell y'all what's gonna happen with them in the near future. I'm gonna let y'all know. And some of the things I'm about to say is somewhat speculation based on the political patterns that I witnessed. So some of what I'm gonna say is a little bit of a speculation, but don't be surprised if you see everything I'm about to say come true. Number one, before we get into that, let me say this. The other reason why Trump strategically bombed Nigeria on Christmas Day, now remember, he did this on Christmas Day, is also because of all that's going on with those files. It's a distraction, it's a deflection. Some of the things that's coming out about our president, the impeachment should have been done. He should have been impeached by now. And if y'all been doing y'all research, you know about what happened at Lake Michigan. You know what he's being accused of in those files, with the termination of a JIT at Lake Michigan. You know the allegations in the files of him raping a 13-year-old. You know that alongside Epstein. You know all of the things that's out there on him. So what did he do on Christmas Day? Bomb Nigeria to attack ISIS? No. No, there's an agenda involved in all of that. Now you got Bill Clinton, who is being put all through the files, and it's an individual who got impeached for getting fellatio in the Oval Office from a consenting adult. Here it is, we got a president right now who got all kind of allegations, alleged deletions out here, and he's still in office. So I'm gonna tell you what that means. That means that the nation has been officially destabilized. They used Trump to come in here and pretty much obstruct the Constitution. He was able to turn the Pentagon into the Department of War and strategically place military in various cities, and nobody pushed back. The information came out on him of what he really is. Nobody pushed him back. So what does that show? The people are not outraged enough. The people are not petitioning for the impeachment. The people are not doing enough. That's just what it is. which means that the people are destabilized, worn out, and tired. So, but anyway, what I was going to say was what the future looks like for these white supremacists. Number one, the snake is eating his own tail. The system is exposing itself. We're beginning to realize who the real degenerates are. And it's no unseeing it. The most registered sex offenders are who? These middle-aged white men. So people can try to deflect the attention and always try to place criminality on black men all they want. But the truth is the truth. The facts is the facts. The data don't lie. And the whole world can see it. So some of y'all been paying attention to how Turning Point USA been moving. And let's just say it's looking bad, people. It's looking bad. This Erica Kirk character, the bride of Chucky, the leader of Turning Point USA, you know, the person who comes out like Goldberg to every event, Bill Goldberg from wrestling. Oh, the base, the MAGA base, they're about to have some moves that's going to be very strategic and calculated. Let's see. Iron Fist says, let's not forget about the ramping up of wars. America needs those minerals. That's right. And resources for space trooper programs and for more powerful weapons of plasma and electromagnetic propulsion systems. Absolutely. It's always about the resources. We definitely can't forget about that. And Nigeria is great in resources. They always going after those minerals. They all, like, ladies and gentlemen, ISIS is just the cover story. No, they're going over there for resources. This administration been plotting on Africa's resources. Y'all gotta really think, does Donald Trump really care about Christians being persecuted? First of all, Donald Trump is not a Christian. He's not a true follower of the Messiah. These people can care less. Remember when the Bible says, when these people say safety, safety, know that certain destruction comes. America don't go to other countries to rescue people. They barely rescue their own people. Under the Biden administration, there were soldiers left overseas, let alone be going over there to go over there and rescue some people who may be going through some things in these churches. It's not happening. And they're going to pay for that. And I'm talking about America's going to gravely pay for all of the destruction that is done to other nations. This is why the Bible says Babylon the Great will fall. Now, how that looks, it will fall incrementally. You know, every action has a reaction. Now, this Erica Kirk character, this Turning Point USA, the new white power or white supremacy system that's put in play. Look, first of all, we had Nicki Minaj come on to the Turning Point Fest, and she comes out and calls J.D. Vance an assassin. She called him an assassin. How many of y'all think that was a coincidence? Or was they telling us the truth? See, the puzzle is starting to come together. We seen that long drawn out hug with Erica Kirk and J.D. Vance. We know that J.D. Vance more than likely will be the next president. Now I want you to see this here. JD Vance is married to an Indian woman. I think that marriage is going to end. I think there's going to end up, there wasn't a Freudian slip. I think that marriage is going to end. And guess what? JD Vance will be the next president. Erica Kirk is leading the charge with the biggest white supremacy group in the world right now. So what does that look like? JD Vance and Erica Kirk getting married. What would that do? It would solidify and bring together the base. That would be the perfect move for white supremacy right now. To for JD Vance, who is the next president, and Erica Kirk to be married. I know it's crazy, but I can see that happening. I would not doubt if they did that. That's how these type of cabals and networks actually operate. And if we see that publicly, y'all gonna know, man. Y'all gonna know exactly how they move. Yep. I Am Fit says, how many people knew that Erica and Trump knew each other long before Charlie knew her? Trump sent Erica to go work for Charlie, and they ended up marrying. That's it. That's it. They sent her on a Israel trip. They sent her to Israel where, you know, and that's just the irony of that altogether. But they sent her to Israel where she met Charlie Kirk in some APEC meeting, I believe it was. And also, Erica Kirk was featured in one of Trump's beauty pageants. Erica Kirk was featured in one of Trump's beauty pageants. And, you know, there's a lot of photos out there of seeing them together. So all this is by design. Erica Kirk is a honey trap. Erica Kirk is one of those characters that they're using to really push the agenda. And if you look into her family, man, her mom was deep into the CIA. Her mom was on missions, man, like deep undercover missions. Yeah, somebody said Erica Kirk was on some Mission Impossible-ish with the targeting of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, it was Charlie Kirk's time to end. But I can really see these people solidifying a base. And Trump, he's on his way out. I know that we're ready to see that impeachment now, but it's like they're pushing the envelope and seeing how far they can really go with things, you know. Because some of the things that came out on these files, man, I'm absolutely repulsed and disgusted, bro. I mean, the fact that the information is out there, but the government is still running like normal. Like there's no real public outrage. Some of the stuff that's on them files with our US president, some of the things he's being accused of doing, and he's continuing like nothing, like it's nobody's business. That has to come to some type of halt, man. Let me see. Somebody says he's not getting impeached. He may not. He may not, but something is going to happen where he could lose the midterm elections. See, that's the thing. It might not be an impeachment. However, if he loses the House, the Senate, and so forth, then they can put JD Vance in office, technically. Somebody says, how, as a Bible believer, do you think the government is going to do something about it? Well, technically, the government is fighting each other. There's infighting going on. The government, as you know it now, is broke down into fractions. So a lot of what you see is internal wars. They're not in agreement. So it is possible for a president to get impeached, especially if it's another power circle or another force that is being lobbied and financed. But the way it is if you a good puppet, if you follow If you follow the puppet masters, a lot of the times you safe in the office. Like Trump, he's fully bought and paid for. Trump is fully bought and paid for. Make no mistake about that. So unless he steps out of line, more than likely he'll be in there unless the people just don't, the people just want JD Vance. And when you look at JD Vance, the way he got in office, if you look at who he's connected with, it's a lot of people who push AI. It's a lot of people who are invested in a global financial reset. And what, JD Vance went from some unknown governor to the vice president? No, they placed these people in office. They put these people in position. JD Vance, I mean, ain't nobody vote for him to be the vice president. No, they put him in there because he is going to push the agenda. Simple as that. Yeah, T Diddy gotta go, man. T Diddy is way out of pocket, man. Way out of pocket. I mean, how much more evidence do we need? How many more photos do we need? How many more accusations do we need before there's an impeachment? But see, the system is going to expose itself because of their reluctancy of repentance. And true repentance comes with action. You just don't continue doing the same thing. If they don't change it, the Most High gonna judge all of them folks. Let me see. Someone says, ain't none of this new to them. They're deciding not now to criminalize them for it. Right, right. But they're not getting any consequences. Kim C says, I always thought once you got impeached, you automatically had to step down, but he taught me that wasn't true. Yeah, that's right, because there's a lot of people like AOC who rallied behind a whole lot of different politicians to get Trump impeached in his last presidency. But that don't mean that it's going to actually happen, you know. But just the fact that they're not talking about an impeachment online, that's baffling to me. Because when, I don't know about y'all's For You pages, but when I get online, when I get on, you know what I mean? When I get online, all I see is people bringing out what's in them files on Trump. They're showing me. I mean, word for word. Some of the stuff is so horrendous and sick. I don't even want to read it on YouTube. I don't want to say it out loud on YouTube. That's how bad it is. The things that he's being accused of doing. But the mainstream media is not talking about an impeachment. That makes no sense. Here it is. You had a young lady. What is her name? Golfrey? Last name Golfrey, the lady who allegedly self-deleted after what? After all the Supreme Court rulings was coming, after the judges was, you know, taking the files into consideration, all of a sudden she self-deleted like last year. Come to find out, the files come out and she's accusing Trump and Epstein of gang raping her. Virginia Golfrey, yep. It's just so much. Let me see. Somebody says, this is our last 3 years of peace, y'all. Start stacking smart. Next president not coming, or, oh, next president, oh, Lord, be with us. Look, the way Trump is planning these wars, and I don't think we're going to have peace here for the next 3 years. I'm going to have to disagree with you with that. You know, honestly, when they dropped that bunker buster on Iran, I don't think that was a good move. Let me see here. I Am Fit says, we must be careful what we ask for so soon. How many of you are ready right now to live off the grid and have agriculture, livestock, crops, clean water, sufficient living quarters to run a village right now. See, that's what I'm saying. That's real talk. That's real talk. And and it's like I truly believe that the system has to break down incrementally, and there has to be some extreme situations that happen that really start to recalibrate the way we think as people. We're going to have to start losing stuff in order for us to really start to gear our minds on self-sufficiency. It's like we're going to have to start losing things, because the way the matrix is set up is they get you off being comfortable. As long as everything is moving the way it looked like it's supposed to move, as long as you got your civil liberties, then there's no real incentive for you to want to run your own, to have your own. And that's what really keeps us in a bubble. That's what really keeps us in a bubble as people, man. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't work and have nice things and live our lives and do what it is we need to do. By no stretch of the imagination am I not saying that you shouldn't enjoy the quality of your life. But what I am saying is there has to be contingency plans. There has to be contingency plans in this here country. There has to be some togetherness. Because if a war was to break out here, how many people can say, we got somewhere we can go where there's a well, where there's, a livable structure. There's somewhere you can bring your family where others will have food, and other people will be able to be there for each other, to look out for each other. How many people can say that? And see, that's why we have UP Farms. That's exactly what UP Farms is about. That all of that acreage is about getting out there, learning some survival skills, some survival tactics, coming out there, getting used to camping, getting used to being around your people, coming out there, sharing with each other. Why? Because if something hit the fan and you already in that network of families, you can hop in your vehicle and you know where to go. You know the coordinates, and you know that those your people. If you connected, hey, we'll let you in. You're welcome to come in. You one of us. But right now the whole system don't want us thinking that way. There's an agenda, there's a mission to make your children fat, gay, and pathetic. That's the agenda. Make your kids fat, gay, and pathetic, with no type of motivation, no type of nothing. That's the agenda. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. And that's why it's good to get them acclimated and conditioned for the world they living in. Somebody said they want you relying on a system. Exactly. A system that's falling. A system that's, closing in on itself. The snake eating its own tail. Somebody says, or locked up in the prison pipeline. Yep, you said it. You're absolutely correct. Somebody said they ain't escaping what's coming. Expecting God is your escape out. Yep, but what's faith without works? Faith without works is dead. There's things that you got to do. Malcolm X says the future is for those who prepare for it. The future is for those who actually make the moves necessary to prepare. And the things I'm saying, these are things that has already been done. We got a land initiative. We got, we've been to Liberia, meeting up with dignitaries, getting all of the, getting land grants and things of that nature, and communicating with people. Because look, Bill Gates and them, it's a reason why they buying up all the land. It's a reason why they doing that. It's a reason why they giving you 3D printed meat. It's a reason why a lot of the livestock is missing. You ride down these country roads in America these days. Y'all remember when you used to travel and all you would see is cows and chickens and goats, and you would see all kind of farmland with all these animals. You don't see that no more in America. That's right. I am Fit said it. We must get back to our ancestral genius. We got to learn manual labor of digging wells, making clothes, teaching our kids about software engineering and AI so we can be ahead of the game. And that's a fact. That's a fact right there. That is 100% truth. Like, we talk about the AI, Trump put 500 billion into the AI. You got to get ahead of the curve. Some of y'all may be AI engineers. Some of y'all may have to learn how to fix these robots because you got to adapt. You got to adapt, but at the same time, have a contingency plan. You can work for the system, but that don't mean you're of the system. You can work for the system, don't mean you of the system. You're taking the resources from the system to do what? Substantiate something you can call your own. That's just how it gotta be. And that's how y'all should be looking at the 9 to 5 too. What can you learn from that 9 to 5 that you can actually put towards kingdom work, put towards building, put towards something you can call your own? Because automation is the new name of the game. I mean, you look, Amazon laying off millions of employees. FedEx, millions of employees. Why? Because it's automation. But if you learn the technical side of it, you can be involved in the automation process. The game has changed. And all of that manual labor work that we used to do for them people, we should be doing it for ourselves. We should be doing it for ourselves. Somebody said it will come down to the mark or not taking the mark of the beast, period. I'm not taking it, right? Now, if you're in a situation where you're not in these highly concentrated areas and, if you're in a situation where you're not having to rely on the system, you have a better chance of not even worried about the mark of the beast. I tell you, when I'm down there on them country roads where our land is at, nobody worried about that, and they know about it. Why? Because they know that if something go down where they unable to buy something from the grocery store, people got farms. People can trade crops. People can trade crops. They're not worried about that. They're like, look, I'm going to bring the potatoes. You bring the corn. We got the melons over here. Look, we got the chickens and the goats over here. And it's a trading system. Every time I'm kicking it with Mike Monroe, somebody's knocking on the door, bringing something because they showing each other, look, we going to share among each other. When I go outside, when I'm out there, the neighbors come outside. Y'all seen it on live. Y'all seen it on live. I came outside, the neighbors like, hey, you want some watermelon? Where do you see that at? Came outside, the neighbors offering food and stuff. That's because these people know what time it is. That's why they are where they are at. I'm not quite fully in that position yet, but that's a goal. That's a goal right there. To be in a situation where you can trust your neighbors. Because when times get desperate out here, man, listen, the book of Esdras says because of lack of bread, people gonna be, It's going to be burglaries. It's going to be home raidings. It's going to be death and destruction, man. Because of what? Because of the lack of bread. The book of Ezra says people would desire to go into one city to the next, but they can't. This is all Bible. Why? Because it's going to be military checkpoints. Let me do this person a solid. All right. Let me see. Somebody says, that's what we got to get back to. Exactly. Because the system will expose itself. And Babylon is going to fall. It's going to fall. And when it does, you just want to be ready for that. Somebody said the eggs in the store are man-made. I would not doubt that. Somebody said they built the bunkers for a reason. That's right. But they can't hide. Yeah. Yeah, these white supremacists in this country, man, they're gonna be taking some L's too this year coming up. See, last year, 2025 was like the year of exposure. 2025, it was like the year of exposure. I believe that 2026 is gonna be more like a new beginning for God's people. There's going to be a lot of things that's just rectified in our lives, a lot of things that are going to be done, and we just going into our new life. A lot of us going to get a second chance at life. You know, it's just important to get as close to the Most High as we can moving forward. You know, it's important to really truly make sure our personal relationship with the Almighty is there. And when you're doing the right thing, everything else gonna fall in place. You know, I'm not telling anybody to be out here and be fearful of what's going on. Like the scriptures say, we are not distressed, but we are perplexed at every angle, because we looking at this thing like, man, it is getting real. But at the same time, we got our faith in the Almighty, and we're looking, and we're going to continue to be watchful to what's going on. We're going to continue to, you know, really see the game for what it is. Let me see. Somebody says, Erica Kirk participated in Miss Arizona USA 2012 pageant where she won. Yep. And that was a Trump pageant. That's right. Yeah, these people are all connected. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I got a full day. I will be getting back with y'all a little bit later tonight, so make sure you turn the post notifications on. Everybody like the video. I got some moves I need to make, some business I need to handle, but I wanted to touch bases with y'all. I've been having some issues streaming from the house, so I got some troubleshooting to do with that. And other than that, man, we're going to touch bases real soon. Everybody have a blessed day. One love. Shalom. Peace.